Hey Internet, this is Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today I am going to be telling you the story of Tadeo Salazar. So, Tadeo Salazar is actually Fryback64's character in occasional campaigns I run at NerdHQ, as well as the virtual venturing we do on the Discord servers. So I really like this character, and so we're gonna paint Tadeo up today. I actually am going to be painting a mini for each person in the group that plays in one of the other campaigns. And so I've already put up the video for the Wrath Dragonkin painting that I did. And then so today will be here. So in the stories, Tadeo comes from a huge family from Rivercrest, and his father is an armorer, and he's an armorer. His brother's an armorer, and so he strikes out with this set of armoring skills. This is right around the end of the undead invasion, so there are still a lot of refugees in and around the Neocap, and Tadeo comes across a couple of merchants that are trying to get security to help them. So he's hired on to protect their goods, and becomes fast friends with Mibble the dwarf and Jesui the human merchant. And these three traverse the Neocap. Basically, they run into some really poor bandits, not necessarily unrich, but more incapable. And they talk their way through that, and they come into the haunted forest, which they meet the haunt, which is actually some pixies that were taking turns making their red magic look like eyes of a large monster in the haunted forest. And so Tadeo got to meet the pixies and the pixie queen. And along the way, he also found, picked up, rescued from Knowles a sentient halberd, and the halberd's name is Lime Stern. The halberd actually got shrunk when he met the pixies, and so now he's carrying around this tiny sandwich-sized halberd that has a comically squeaky high voice because of being shrunk, and so that's on his list of things to do, as well as to get Limestern the halberd back to his original size. So Tadeo most recently is now journeying with a spirit that's trapped in the knife. So he has a talking spirit knife that can talk to the halberd and vice versa. Limestern the halberd doesn't have any memories, and so he doesn't know how or why he's a halberd, but he knows that he's not supposed to be a halberd. So for the Tadeo miniature, I am actually using, Tadeo's human, but I'm using an elf warrior, and I'm going to be carving / painting over the ears so that they're not pointy. And this actually is facilitated by the fact that the miniature has long hair, and that works out pretty good. And then leather for the boots and straps, and right now we're doing the armor in silver. The next thing after the silver will be, I'm going to wash the whole thing in black so that the details stand out a little bit more. And then he actually has a fleur-de-lis on his breastplate, so I'll probably make that kind of a light sky blue for the fleur-de-lis. The no big surprises on the miniature. This is a Whiz Kids, I believe, Elven Fighter, and then I'll paint the base, kind of the tones of the road, if you will, and I'll put the cast base. I'll glue that down to one of their stock bases that they provide with the miniatures, which we always like. Always like to, if I end up pouring my own base or putting my own base on there, it's nice to have those standard ones in excess, in surplus for when we need them. For the face, I actually had pretty good blending of the red, the bronze, and the white. So the skin tone was good, but ended up with, there's a little bit too much pink in the part that I used on his mouth. So it does kind of look like he's wearing lipstick a little bit, but such is the happenings when you're painting minis. So Tadeo, the character, is actually tied to more NPCs than any other player character that I've ever had. So the NeoCap and Gather at Large has about 600 NPCs in the wiki, and I swear about half of them are Tadeo's family. I think he's got 10 siblings. He's either sibling number 10 or he's got 10 siblings. And so his siblings do a variety of jobs and services around Rivercrest and further flung. Tadeo did travel to Lower Mine Spa during the, or I should say, actually I think I'm not sure if Tadeo went, but at least two of his brothers went when the Mandabarkian armor was being faded, when the continent was deciding what to do with all of the evil doctor's labs and experiments after his death at Atlica. And so he has traveled as far east as the Jiltrin Mountains and the lands of the Yetis there. As I said before, he's been into the magical forest. He has gone as far south, I believe, as Lower Mine Spa, as far north as Capital City, and a little bit further north, I think, as well. And then he's also worked and visited with the elves and Siquan gnomes of the Sanfei Forest, I believe. I'm only 80% sure. The characters in my campaign definitely travel around a lot, and so they get to see lots of different things, and I don't always keep track the best of who has done what and where. He made a short cameo appearance at the end of the Battle of Castle Yagzu, and so he got to see that the villains were defeated there. So that was when Rathmodar fled. I'm sorry, Crim Bafra, since we're not trying to use the names from the official D&D resources, because the characters aren't related in any way except for using the name from the book the first time they were in the campaign. So we didn't even use the storylines from the books and things, so they all got new names just a little while ago. So Crim Bafra fled on the Dracolich, and Yagzu was seemingly incinerated, and so Tadeo Salazar got to be there at the end of that battle. He also he was involved in I think it was a Halloween storyline where Feral, a ancient vampire lord from the previous iteration of the world, was being hunted by Ninarth, who's a half-dragon protector that appears when the world is in danger. And so one of Tadeo's first exposures was crossing paths with these really high level characters as they traipsed around. So he actually had such a good time with Mibble and Jezui that the two decided to give up merchantry and traveled with Tadeo to Capital City to train and become adventurers. So a couple of merchants that are now going to be learning how to fight thanks to Tadeo's work. So the painting turned out pretty good. I like how the hair falls, and I like how the armor worked with the black wash that I used. So the base turned out, and that's about it. So let's get that final version up on the screen here. Alright, so here again, another one of the first uses of my turntable. Looks like I actually need to focus a little bit there. Got maybe too close to the miniature. There it goes. That's a little better. So you can see here without the secondary base, he is leaning a little bit, so I actually added the base here for stabilization. And how I got that to be untilted was I actually just stuck a tiny piece of two-sided tape to prop up the part where he was leaning, and then filled that in with thermoset plastic all around that piece of tape so that it would hold in the shape that was him standing upright. But this has been painting time with Tadeo Salazar. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and you can support on Patreon or buy me a coffee. And I had a lot of fun. We've got one more in this series where I'm painting up a miniature for each of the folks in the Bristlecone bunch. And so next up will be the Displacer Beast, so you can look forward to that video. But alrighty, we'll see you next time. Thanks, Internet.